Sam. And here we go.
Thanks, Lara. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, so this is the first 501c3, 3C. I'm not really sure it's an American thing, apparently. The background here, which I don't follow precisely, is it 501c3? It is an American non-profit organization that gets special dispensation in the US from the IRS, and we've been interested in potentially having one. I think the main thrust is that if Agile Ventures had kind of incorporated 501c3 branch, as it were, sort of in the US, then there are certain companies offer programs where their employees can like be paid to work for some portion of their time on non-profit for other entities that are a valid 501c3, I believe. Marianne, since you're based in the US and I think understand all these things, does that make sense?
Yes, it does. At my last job, they allocated 1 day per quarter that we were allowed to do that.
Right. Yes, and so it certainly sounds like a sensible thing for us to want to do, and we kind of had it on a back burner, and we've had one of our members, Rishi, I think, has is saying that they want to give us the money for the initial registration process. So that's that's great, and I think this is like there are some fees that it would cost to actually incorporate, and he's offering to, and so that spurred us forwards. And the key requirements, I understand, is that we do need to have 4 directors, and we need to kind of like agree on the sets of certain particular documents that describe how the 501c3 operates. Does that match with the Slack discussions so far?
I'm not 100% sure, but
I'm also not sure.
Well, and that's a not unreasonable place for us to be. The way I know anything about this process is that Federico has previously set up an organization called Championer, which is the kind of client entity for the Phoenix One project, and it's a non-profit which is all about, it's kind of in the sort of funding kind of crowd. I mean, it's not. It's more complicated. It's a subtle, complex thing that Federico's come up with to do with. It's not quite crowdfunding, but it's in that sort of space. Anyhow, so myself and Federico and Rashi and Collins are the 4. We're the directors of Championer. So what we had previously done to set up the 501c3 that is Championer is we had ratified some documents that Federico had put together. We had a meeting a bit like this one, which we said, yes, right, we agree that these are the documents for the thing, and then there's the filing process, which Federico has done, and one assumes that he would be willing to take the lead on. I might just kind of go and dig out those Championer documents, which we would probably use as templates. So, I mean, I'm, not necessarily Federico is the person who I think knows the most about all of these things, and of course he's not here. But can I answer? Do you have any questions on your mind, Marion, Lara? Thanks so much for agreeing to be directors of the 501c3.
I don't think I know enough to ask questions right now.
Sure.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think maybe we should reschedule another meeting for next week when Federico is around, just so that because he seems to know more than we do, to maybe just explain it to us. because I think it works. I think it must work differently in all different countries.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably the way to go. Would the same time next Thursday be good for everyone?
Yeah, I think that'll be fine.
Yeah.
Difficult. This would the problem for me is that I regularly have things at this time on a Thursday, and this was the one Thursday that I didn't, and that was why I suggested this day. But otherwise, this is good for both of you.
But otherwise, yeah, any day next week, this time or whenever.
Yeah,
Just
and
not Fridays this time. It's just because it's
not Fridays.
time out. Yeah.
Sure. And but Marion, the days that are possibles for you, not guaranteed possible, but like, was it Monday, Thursday, Friday?
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll work something out. Yes, it's a shame, isn't it? The universe seems to be conspiring. There were, other questions before, which I guess have been answered about, like, what's the frequency of, the commitment, and I think it's basically very occasional meetings.
Yeah.
Like once a
It's
quarter,
like having a board meeting, and you kind of sit around and you look at what's happened in that quarter,
right?
And what can be done better.
Yeah.
Setting up an agenda.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I think just from an American legal whatever, we just need to understand it.
Sure.
Because I still think it's great to be a director, but I still don't know what my responsibilities.
No.
Yes, what are our goals?
Sure. The one thing I can go on.
Homework for us for our next meeting next week, when we have Federico, is just maybe to think about what are those goals. Is it just America-based goals, or is this for international, or?
Well, it's a good question, and I guess one thing that I maybe can add that's relevant background is that we do have a UK charity, an official charity in the UK. That there isn't really such a thing as a non-profit organisation, although they do have. I don't know. I tried to create a non-profit organisation here, and it doesn't really. They don't have the precise equivalent, and that was a bit of a failure. But yeah, so we have a charity, and I know now a fair amount more than I did about UK-based charities, and we have trustees instead of directors, but as far as I can tell, it's pretty much the same thing. In that, like, so the way we're doing it with the UK charity is we certainly started with 4 trustees. There's some turnover. We have a constitution which defines what the goals are, and the 2 that we've defined for Agile Ventures charity in the UK are, open access to learning and helping other charities with their IT systems. And it's kind of the responsibility of the trustees to uphold, there's certain sort of high-level decisions about the direction of the charity. They're sort of obliged to ensure that the charity cleaves to its stated aims. For example, if somebody just started okay, we're now going to set up a knitting business, and doesn't completely unrelated to the aims, there were questions, should be asked. When we were setting up the Championer one with Federico, it seems like the requirements in the US are less stringent. There didn't seem to need to be a constitution that would actually state the aims. It just seemed to need to be like these template documents, or these documents which define the way in which things operate and how decisions get made, and that there is a treasurer and that there is a president and so on. But there didn't seem to be any responsibility to define the aims of the 501(c), and the directors didn't seem to have responsibility to hold the organization to 501(c). But my understanding is limited. So yeah, good questions.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think let's have this meeting next week again, when Federico is available.
Yeah.
Discuss, and he can give us more clarity.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can start putting things on the table going forward. I know from my side, my company that I'm working for is very keen to get involved in Agile Ventures. But I just wanted to see what this was about before bringing it to the table. So I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the long, and I'll promise to shut up very soon. The long-term vision that I sort of is potentially, in order to make best service to individuals and get the best use of resources in every country that we're in, it makes sense to to set up the appropriate form of institution in each jurisdiction. Charity in the UK, 501c3. I don't know if there's some equivalent in South Africa that at some point we might consider setting up, but that's yeah.
I mean, I'll look into it. I've got quite a few friends that run NGOs, so I can just kind of do some digging and investigation in terms of seeing how that works.
That'd be really interesting to know how that works in South Africa. And I mean, personally, I'd love to see Agile Ventures' global vision of this open access to education on real projects for real charities, kind of like double win thing, be available, in every and be supported in every jurisdiction. So yeah, great. Oh well, lovely to see. Well, not see. Lovely to do audio with both of you. It's I'm reduced to the status of doing conference calls due to my internet. Hopefully next week will be better. Good show. We'll obviously coordinate on Slack and work out when we can get everybody together.
Sounds good.
Is it Marion?
Yes.
Okay, I tell you why. In South Africa, we would say Marianne, which is very Afrikaans, sort of Dutch. So I just wanted to check. Okay.
We had an au pair from South Africa once, and she called me that.
Marianne.
Unfortunately, the whole time she was here, but I was too nice to correct her.
Oh, same. Well, yeah.
Thank you.
It's interesting because go on, Marianne.
I just said Lara, right?
It's Lara, but the Americans call me Lara, so it's fine.
And I'm just Sam, which seems to work. I've got a specially name optimized for use in multiple cultures. Japanese have a bit of trouble with it, but there we go. Good show. Nice. Well, thanks so much for doing the Hangouts, Lara, and sorry for the double post. Yeah.
Thanks, Marion. Thanks, Sam. Good luck with your cables, and good luck with the cold weather.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Ciao.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. Bye
Bye.
for now.
Bye.
Cheers.